I'm presenting use of blenders and ways to limit oxygen toxicity in resource limiting settings. Uh, uh, First, would like to have an idea about the oxygen therapy in the past years. Oxygen was first used 240 years back to treat pneumonia and hypoxemia. In 1930s, Dr. Julius has created oxygen chamber to care for preterm babies. In 1948, American Academy of Pediatrics recommended oxygen to all preterm babies immediately after birth. And oxygen therapy was guided by monitoring skin color and breathing regularity at that time. Administration of pure oxygen led to increased survival of premature and low birth weight babies, but it caused the epidemic of retinopathy of prematurity. In late 20th century, with the development of monitoring techniques and advancement of the knowledge led to understanding that delivery of oxygen must be carefully managed to get maximum benefit and minimum harm. Uh, today, uh, Today's oxygen therapy, we give supplemental oxygen therapy, which is critical component of newborn care. It is widely used to treat millions of newborns globally, and like any other drug, it has toxic adverse effects. So, hyperoxia and oxidative injury. Neonates have unique physiological characteristics and vulnerabilities. Antioxidant system is not fully developed in newborns. Pure oxygen results in overproduction of reactive oxygen species, which damage the lipids, proteins, and DNA in the cells. Reactive oxygen species cause cellular injuries in retina, nervous system, blood, and lungs. So, which lead to ROP, BPD, intraventricular hemorrhage, and long-term neurodevelopmental impairment. Hyperoxia induced free radical damage has been implicated in neonatal hemolytic anemia and lymphocytic leukemia also. How to prevent the oxygen toxicity? Uh, we should use oxygen blending devices which combine pure oxygen with room air to regulate the concentration of oxygen delivered. Blending is critical for safe delivery of oxygen to the newborns. Every newborn globally should have access to the blended oxygen wherever needed. So, American Heart Association has recommended titrating oxygen delivery to meet target oxygen saturations rather than giving 100% oxygen. So, what is oxygen blender? An air oxygen blender is a medical device used to mix medical air and oxygen into a gas source ranging from 21 to 100% oxygen. It combines compressed medical air and oxygen to deliver blended pressurized gas at a precise oxygen concentration. These blenders are suitable for routine oxygen therapy. Can be used in bubble CPAP, HFNC, ventilators, resuscitators, and critically limited NICU procedures. So, categories of blenders available. These are high flow oxygen blenders, which deliver high flow rates of oxygen and air and used in critical care settings. It can provide flow up to 50 liters per minute. And there are low flow oxygen blenders, which deliver low flow rates of oxygen and air and provides flow from 3 liters to 30 liters per minute with no gas bleed. So parts of oxygen blenders. Uh, Oxygen blender have goes blending chamber, which is a central component where compressed air and oxygen are mixed with precision. These have flow meters, safety valves, regulating valves, alarm systems, and ports to provide oxygen and air. So characteristics are blenders offer a simple, reliable, and accurate method of delivering gas to the patient in a controlled manner. Regulating valve can adjust proportion of oxygen concentration, thus making pressure stable and create a constant pressure. Double output ports can supply gas to one or more patients. And when alarming is there, the safety valve starts automatically and produces mixture of gas continuously to ensure safety of the patients. So, principle of air oxygen blender. It works on the principle of Venturi. The blender regulates a mixture of pressurized oxygen gas and air through adjustments within the equipment body only. And this feature allows reduction in gas resistance during delivery. Many types of blenders are available. Different companies are ASCO, SHI, SS Tech, by SS Technomet, Pigeon AD 3000, SPD, Novel Oxygen Blender System, and Neotech. So these are images of few blenders. And the third one is the novel oxygen blender. WHO recommendations for oxygen therapy. So we can during the routine resuscitation of term, moderate to late preterm infants, we should begin with bag and mask ventilation using room air. And preterm infants less than 32 weeks should receive ventilation beginning with 30% oxygen or air if blended oxygen is not available. Oxygen concentrations should be guided by blood oxygen saturation levels and titrating the concentration of oxygen to meet time specific saturation targets. So these are time specific saturation targets are shown in next table. An adjustment of the concentration of oxygen level should be by 10% slowly per 30 seconds and must be guided by the oxygen saturation levels reached. So it's a time specific oxygen saturation targets in resuscitation of preterm infants. Time after birth is shown. After 2 minutes, preterm infant should have SpO2 55 to 75%, 3 minutes 65 to 80%, at 4 minutes 75 to 70 to 85%, 5 minutes 80 to 90%, and at 10 minutes 85 to 95%. Critical competencies for safe delivery of oxygen. Nurses, midwives, physicians, and other health professionals should have specific training in indications for oxygen use, in selection, setup, and care of delivery systems, prevention of excessive oxygen concentrations, hygiene, infection prevention, thermal protection when delivering oxygen, airway suctioning, monitoring frequency and adherence to the target saturation ranges, documentation and use of data to review process and outcome measures, awareness of complication, maintenance of delivery and monitoring systems for oxygen requiring schedule calibration, cleaning, electrical safety checkups, replacement of consumable elements, and surveillance and follow-up of newborns treated with oxygen for ROP and lung injury. But there is oxygen blending gap. Only a small minority of NICUs have access to oxygen blenders. Oxygen blenders which make use of Y connectors, venturi nozzles or pumps are less expensive but have a poor blending precision and function over a very limited range of fraction of inspired oxygen. So, oxygen blending technology is in resource limiting settings. Investment must be made to support development and implementation of affordable oxygen blending technologies. Oxygen blending is a pillar of effective oxygen therapy and is critically needed to improve the newborn care. Thank you.
Wonderful, Dr. Kamaldeep. Coming from a low resource unit in Gurdaspur, you have really sent the right message that we should use oxygen as a drug, use oxygen with blender in the delivery room, and preferably not use oxygen if the child is a term baby. Gestations maybe less than 32 weeks, we can start to 30% oxygen. These are all absolutely the current ILCOR guidelines and the target saturation you nicely have pointed out. So I must just point out to Professor Rakesh that in this country, we have started using oxygen blenders only last 15 years ago in tertiary care units like us. Now only in the periphery it has started percolating. And I'm so glad Dr. Kamaldeep has pointed this out. Dr. Rakesh Sani, just for many of you who would know him and his published works, he's been a great proponent of medical devices, and the first earliest works on bubble CPAP he and his colleagues at Columbia University did. So technology is sort of in his blood, and he has done a lot of work on oxygenation and also in terms of bubble CPAP. And currently, I think he's working on some devices. But I just wanted to ask you, Dr. Rakesh, do you have any kind of work which you are doing or heard about any work on FiO2 control or automated FiO2?
Yeah, I think I'll answer your last question first, which is called the closed loop. In fact, I was reading an article on closed loop CO2 control. So basically, ventilating babies based on continuous entitled CO2. I got to review that article for publication. So in the closed loop system, where you're measuring entitled CO2, can you regulate the ventilation based on the entitled CO2? So I think we are moving towards that technology. The oxygen related issues have been on the horizon for a long time. and closed loop ventilation based on baby's oxygen saturation base has been. The problem here is, again, the baby's respiration and uh, is so variable, and the constant settings which we keep, it's very hard to sit someone next to the dial. So that has a lot of promise, but we're still waiting. I think the Europeans have a lot of work that has been done in Miami, and they have a closed loop oxygenation. But I'm going to show you. I think it's in my. Can I share my slides? One of them.
Yes, actually, Jyoti, can you enable Dr. Rakesh's?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a minute.
So I probably may have a solution at the present time, but I agree with you. I think that is for the future. We are still working with technology that we have sensors which can detect the oxygen saturation and promptly change the. It's not the question of just trying to avoid hypoxemia. It is also an issue of trying to avoid hyperoxemia. And then again, the one of the major concern, two major concern. One is your eye and the chronic lung disease. Oxygen, like any other thing, is a drug. Too much of that is harmful, and too little of that could also be harmful. So I think it's an area which really needs very sophisticated technology, but we are getting there. So if I can share my screen, let me see if
Yes, sir. I have made you the co-host. You can share.
Okay. Until then, I think every hospital is supposed, this is part of the requirement, has oxygen supply and air supply. And this is, you have this slide in one of my CPAP talks. So if you want to give precise oxygen, and you have two flow meters. So one is the yellow one is the oxygen. Sorry, the yellow one is the air, the green, the oxygen. So you can, based on the graph which is there, for example, if you want to give 50% oxygen with 7 liters of flow, so you can easily drop down this is 50%, and that's you're giving a 7-liter flow. So all you need is 3 liters of oxygen and 4 liters. So this is a easy way of, I think the Venturi ones, I'm glad I saw that. I saw that somebody was developing that about, had approached us to look at it, and they had very high precision at high oxygen ends. And it's an old concept we learned in medical school, how you can change the mask oxygen when you're giving oxygen by mass by the Venturi effect. That would be the cheaper options for future. But in the meantime, if you have a flow meter, you can basically precisely control the oxygen. And one more comment, I think we get very aggressive with the use, and I'm glad that in recent years we are controlling, and a lot of the work, all credit to Dr. Ramji, and you won't believe he was the one who was the proponent of room air resuscitation many years ago. I remember that. And I think in the recent years, we are now controlling the oxygen. You have to believe the intrauterine oxygen saturation is 67% on an average. So when a baby comes out, the next number is not 100. So the next number is 68. And that's why you saw that slide with the gradual, with the time after birth. So the oxygenation improves. So long it's improving, you have to be patient. And I think, I don't know how it is. The incidence of ROP is may have been slightly better with neuro targets. But again, I don't think so. We really know the precise answer to that question, how much and how. And giving too less oxygen, studies, support trial showed us that is associated, yes, ROP is less, but then mortality is much higher. That's why in the revised things you target indications, you're targeting 90 to 95%. And so going back to the flow meters, until you get the blenders are expensive, and until you get the blenders, there are other versions, and you can work with the your respiratory department to have flow meters and use the combination of flow meters to be precise how much oxygen you need to get.
Thank you, Rakesh. Just to add to that, we need not necessarily have, in fact, in the PCS workshop which we had, we showed you some flow generators, pressure generators using turbine flows. If you see many of the modern transport incubators, we'll have a module on that. They run on a turbine, and many of the standalone CPAP devices which are now available in the market in India, they have a turbine compressor to push the compressed air out, and that can be also used. And additionally, you have the oxygen, because Rakesh, in this country, unfortunately, central air is not easily available, centralized air. So compressed air is not easily available. Compressed oxygen is available easily. So we have to make some kind of indigenous modifications to get air which is compressed or high flow air. So turbine generators are now available at a fraction of the cost. So many of us use it even in NICUs like ours. We sometimes, when we have to transport babies across, we use a turbine generator. So I can discuss this, of course, in our WhatsApp group. We can discuss it further without much wasting time for Professor Rakesh. But one